Israel. First, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach Wamarak Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shah is the name of His only begotten Son, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men, right, that go out and labor for the Most High, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, doing all they can to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel, enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, the freezing below codes, and everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. Shalom, shalom. I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty Akwath, right? The sisters that are at home, but they're reverencing their husbands. They're being teachers of good things, and the unmarried sisters as well, being tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High God. I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty teenagers and children in this truth as well, doing all they can in the last days to make their calling and election sure, right? And by the topic of this code cut, this title, it's either now or never, right? The topic of this code cut is titled, it's either now or never, because we're approaching the latter days more and more as time progresses. It's a plethora of prophecies that's kicking off in the last days with wars and, well, actually war going on. All hell is breaking loose, right? I mean, all manner of spirits is increasing on the earth, and it's either now or never, man. This should be our mindsets in the last days, that if we're not going as hard as we can now, we might never get this opportunity back. We might never, you're not gonna get two opportunities to get the kingdom of heaven, man. Everybody each gets one shot in this truth. It's one shot per man, per woman, per children, man. Nobody just gets 5 shots off the rack to get the kingdom, right? It doesn't work like that. So it's either now or never, man. What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna continue to let the spiritual demon Satan and the things of this world entangle you up and stop you from wholly following the Most High? Or are you gonna put these things to side and say, you know what, now is the time to go 100% in this truth, man? Right? Now is the time to step it up a notch, to go harder as I was before. Because if you don't have this mentality, I mean, hey, this is the mentality also, ultimately, of the man that want to strive for perfection, right? You are commanded to go 100% for the Most High. We can't be going 65%, right? We can't be going 85%. 85, that might be good, but guess what? 85% is not 100. That's not a complete. That's not 100%. So it's either now or never. What are we gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? Right, let's go. Let's kick it off with the book of Hebrews, chapter 3. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, and let's go to verse 13. Right, Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 13. It says, but exhort one another daily while it is yet called today. So the Lord said we have to exhort one another every single day while it is called today. We can't try to seek out to do things in the future, man. Only the Most High knows what's going to behold us, what's going to befall us in the future. The Lord said, exhort one another while it is yet called today. It says, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So if we don't have this mindset that it's either now or never every single day, a lot of us could be overtaken through the hardness of our hearts, just like our forefathers in the wilderness. Next thing you know, now we deceived by sin. Now we have things that's holding us back. You have something called the pollutions of the world. When you read 2 Timothy, or 2 Peter, the 2nd chapter, rather. Right, let's go to that real fast. You have something called the pollutions of this world that a man could, or a woman could actually get entangled again with, although they escaped it. Why? Because, hey, you might come into this truth and you might be in this thing for a while. Then you start to get relaxed. You might start to get comfortable well, man, hey, you know, prophecy. I thought the end of the world was gonna come in 2 years. Hold on, I thought Yahweh Shah was gonna come back. Brothers were saying the Lord was coming back any moment now. Then you realize that, hey, the Lord could slow things down. And a lot of people, they get comfortable, man. They stop going as hard as they used to going. They start taking days off, taking truth vacations, right? They start losing the mentality that they had when they first came in. These things happen all because, again, you have something called the pollutions of the world. Let's go to that in the book of 2 Peter, right? This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, and verse number 19. 2 Peter chapter 2 and 19. It says, while they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption, for of whom a man is overcome, are the same as he brought in bondage. For after they have escaped the pollutions of the world, through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, and everybody that's in the truth, for the most part, you've escaped some of the pollutions of the world, right? You probably escaped the lust you used to deal with, the smoking, the drunkenness, the riotedness. And you probably was a gossiper. You escape your anger. All of that is a part of you escape your covetousness. All of that is a part of the different manifold pollutions that's in this world that's trying to bring us down. So certain people, they escape that. They overcome it. They master that through the Spirit and them believing in Yahweh Shah. It says what? They are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. So, and you have certain men, although they escape, guess what? They start to get back entangled with the pollutions of the world. And there's a lot of wickedness here, man. I mean, you have sex at an all-time high, money. We just keeping it honest. You have money, drugs, idolatry is here on an all-time high. Putting certain celebrities and rappers on a high pedestal. All of that consists of the pollutions of the world. And if you don't have that mentality and we have to drop everything and we have to let go and push forward, man. Well, we don't know if you might make it, right? You have to have that it's either now or never mentality. We can't say, you know what, later down the line, then I'm going to strive to stop dealing with the pollutions of the world. By that time, the pollutions of the world, they done got a little bit stronger. Then you try to escape, you notice that it's a little bit harder for you to escape now. Why? Because those spirits, they grow on people. They latch on. They overtake their mind. And if you're not repenting, acknowledging them, cleaning up, those things will give you over into a reprobate mind. So guess what? You have some called the pollutions of the world. That might stop you from going hard in the truth, man. If you still, it don't matter if you entangle 2%, right? Being honest, a lot of people think, well, just because you escape the world 85%, then that's all cool. No, you have to fully detach from this world on every aspect. You can't leave no spots, you have to fully detach. Because that little 5% that you think is not that big, that's 5% of sin that could creep in, and next thing you know, it break down that 95%. Right? All of that is a part of wickedness and mischievousness. So when we actually talk about fully detaching from the world, pushing forward, guess what? Hey, escaping the pollutions of the world, that's gonna take time. But that's why we read in Hebrews chapter 3 and 13, exhort one another daily while it is yet called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. We're just gonna come to find out deep down inside, a lot of brothers, they don't want to detach from this world, man. They had a saying, say that, what's that saying? Say that they love it here, man. Right? A lot of people, they still love it here. because of your actions haven't showed that you don't care about this place. If you truly don't care about something, and you're not going to regard its feelings. A lot of people, they regard the feelings of the world when it's nothing here for us, man. Let's examine this thing. What is really here for us in America? Just being honest. This is a wicked, oppressive captivity, right? It's unfair. It's unjust. You barely could survive. You have people, they barely could survive from damn $20 an hour, man. Right? $21 an hour. You get hit with damn, you might been a felon. You get hit with damn taxes and tickets. Not only that, you have to deal with wickedness. You can't even go down the street. I was going down the street. I was getting me a bag of chips, man. You can't even get a bag of chips at the store without seeing God knows what, man. People strung out on drugs, right? You have Jake trying to damn spit game to the woman behind the counter, lustfully in front of you. Hey, what's really here for us? What's stopping you? What's stopping you from having your mind get away from this place? And let's go to Psalm chapter 55 and 6 real fast. Hey, David said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, that I might fly away. Let's go to Psalm chapter 55 and verse 6. Right, this Psalm chapter 55 and 6. And I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then I will fly away and be at rest. Lo, then I will wander far off and remain in the wilderness, Selah. Now, hey, this could be broken down on many fold levels. Now, through the spirit, how it can be broken down through us, we have to fly away from this world mentally. We have to fly just like a dove. If a dove sees, or any bird, if any bird sees danger or it might see a predator, it's going to fly away, man. And you can tell through the birds that, okay, man, something's coming. That's the same way we got to be with the spirit. We see wickedness, anything that's dangerous, sin, we have to fly away, man. Right? We have to detach. And when you don't detach, you're going to get horrible results. Your mind is going to be cloudy. You're going to be lukewarm. Your spirit is not going to sit right in your body. Your spirit is going to be anguishing. Your spirit is going to say, feed me. All hell, you're going to be getting judged constantly. I mean, nothing but evil is going to behold you. Until you realize that, hey, now is the time to be perfect with the Lord, man. Now is the time to go 100%. Right? We don't have tomorrow, man. Right? We don't know what's going to behold us 2 weeks from now. Hey, this could be our last day in the truth. We don't know. Let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 27. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, the 27th chapter. The classic. This Proverbs chapter 27 and 1. It says, boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. The Lord said, don't boast yourself of tomorrow. You have people say, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get 10 chapters in tomorrow, Lord willing, right? Or they say, I'm going to go right now is the time. You have people in the world, they say they going to do the so-called New Year's resolution. Yeah, I'm going to stop smoking weed, right? I plan to go to the gym every single day, starting in 2023. I plan to change my diet. Hey, people in the world, they say that all the time. But let's be honest, do those people, hey, you have certain people say, hey, I'm going to stop lying in 2020. I'm going to see how long I could go lying for the whole year. Be honest, do those people really live up to what they say? Absolutely not. You might have an Eve. She says she's going to change her diet. 2 weeks into the new year, she's eating donuts, right? Jelly-filled donuts. So these people, man, they don't know what they're saying. But us being the children of the light, and the Lord said in Proverbs 18 and 21, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Nevertheless, we can't boast ourselves of what's going to behold us in the future. Now, we through faith, we believe that we're going to see maybe 2 more weeks, maybe 2 more months, upcoming feast days, high holy days of the Most High, things to get planned out to do the work in righteousness. But realistically, man doesn't know their time. And what if the Lord was to command your spirit right now? Would you be satisfied with all of the works you have done? Would you be 100? Could you actually say, you know what? While I was on the earth, I went 100% every day. Can you actually say that? Or are you going to say, you know what? I've been going 65%. I've been going 70%. And you got certain women, they go 40% in the truth. And you want to be confident that if the Lord could command your spirit right now, through his mercy, you could be satisfied. Hey, most High willing, I believe I fought the fight of faith. Right? Let's go to 2 Timothy. Let's get that in 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter. Right? That's what Paul said. And if you can't say that you're going 100%, well, that means there's more work to be put in. It's a little bit more cleaning up you have to do. And it's a little bit more a detaching from the world you have to do, man. It's a little bit more getting into righteousness you have to do, man. It's a little bit more studying you have to do. It's a little bit of being more humble you have to do. It's a little bit of having a little bit more patience you have to do. It's always more work to do, man. Never think it's not no work you could put in. And the Lord said in Revelation chapter 3 and 2, let's get that real fast. Right? I don't want to quote it. Let's get that. This Revelation, the classic chapter 3 and 2, be watchful and strengthen the things that remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before the Lord. Your works are never found perfect in the eyes of God, man. Right? It don't matter. You might have just came off a 2-day fast. Right? You came off a 2-day fast. You threw up probably 20 prayers in total. Maybe 40 prayers. You feel like, hey, you could take a break, man. You feel like, hey, man, I could relax a little bit. No, but no. Because that moment you relax, that's a great opportunity for Satan to go for the kill. To destroy you. Right? To tempt you. Right? Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse number 6. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 6. Let's see what the Apostle Paul said. Again, for everybody tuning in, the topic of this cold cut is, it's either now or never. This 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse number 6. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. So Paul knew that, hey, okay, it's time for him to give up the ghost. My time is coming where I'm going to ultimately be killed for the word of God, because Paul was a martyr. Paul got beheaded by the Roman Emperor Nero, right? So he's telling Timothy, hey, it's about time for me to go, man. But this is what Paul said when he was ultimately considering that he's going to leave the earth soon. He said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Again, right now, if you knew the Lord gave you a vision of how you're going to die 10 minutes before you die, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, could you actually say, I have fought the good fight? Right? Can you actually say, I finished my course, man? I finished this thing? You're not finished. A lot of people, they not even halfway started yet. Hey, Paul said, hey, I fought the good fight. This was a good fight. I came out victorious. Right? 30 rounds, I came out victorious. If we can't say these things, that means we have to do a little bit more self-examination. We have to see what's stopping us from fighting a good fight of faith, We have to eliminate that and continue to push for the mark. Because if we don't, and you're not gonna get the kingdom of heaven. Let's just be honest, right? We're not gonna get the kingdom if we have a lazy, slothful, I'll do it later, I don't feel like it mentality, a work hard every day mentality. If we don't have a perfect mentality to strive perfect or ultimately be perfect with the Most High God, we're not gonna get the kingdom, right? I was meditating earlier and I was thinking to myself, I said, hey man, hey, the Lord, he's not gonna save nobody that's going 45%, right? I mean, just being realistically, the Lord is not gonna save anybody that's being 85%. Although, hey, you might say 85%. Whoa, hold on. What's wrong with 85%? Well, guess what? It's not 100%. That's what's wrong with it. The Lord commanded us to be perfect. That's Deuteronomy chapter 18 and 13. Right? The Lord told Abraham in Genesis chapter 17 and 1, be thou perfect and walk before me. And Abraham was 99 years old. You might say, well, hold on. What's wrong with 90%? Well, anything that's less than 100%, the Lord is not dealing with it. Just being realistically. Now, obviously, yes, the Lord has mercy to impart in that, but mercy doesn't last forever, man. Right? Grace doesn't last forever. Certain things just got to get done. Right? It says, let's read on. Verse 7, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them that love his appearing. So Paul said, hey, I know it's a crown of righteousness laid up for me. You know how confident, I mean, hey, we know, Paul, hey, let's just be honest, man. You know how confident you have to be to say that, right? Hey, I'm not confident saying, I'm not comfortable with and confident with saying, hey, I know it's a crown of righteousness for me, right? Because I know I'm not there yet, right? And somebody might say, well, hold on, that brother, he's prideful if he say that. No, Paul actually, with confidence, it's a difference between confidence and pride. Paul actually said with confidence, hey, I know for sure it's a crown of righteousness laid up for me. That's how much work he put in. That's how much labor he labored. That's how much fruit he brought forth, that he could actually say, I know it's the Lord Yahweh Shai, he has a crown laid up for me. I fought the good fight. I finished this thing. Right? That's what we have to aspire to be like. And again, and only way you're going to do that is you have to fully detach from this world. You have to cut off all relationship with the world, and you have to separate. Let's go to the classic. Let's go to James chapter 4 and 4. Right? Again, detaching from the world 85%. That's not enough. Right? Detaching from the world 65%. That's not enough. We have to fully detach from everything that's hindering us from going fully hard for the Most High. Let's go to the book of, see what I wanted. Let's go to the book of Romans chapter, actually, let's go to James chapter 4 real fast. That's what I was holding. Right, this is the book of James, the 4th chapter. This is the book of James chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, ye adulterers and adulteress, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. So if you're a friend of the world on any type, you could be what they say, you could just be associating with the world. You're at the wrong place at the wrong time. Anything could happen to you. If you're caught being a friend with the world, Whether it's you might not fully be around it, but you still hang, but you still talk to it. It might be on a little level. Guess what? You're considered an enemy with the Most High God. Hey, last time I checked, the Lord said, hey, those my enemies, that I should not reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me, in Luke chapter 19 and 27. The Lord has enemies. Yeah, we know that's Esau, the other nations, but the enemies of the Lord is also the women and men that still friends with the world, that still has deep down connections with them. Hey, when you examine this thing gets deep, man. When you examine certain, they show this thing in movies, online. When you examine certain relationships, somebody that might have cut ties with a fellow spouse, they said even the professors, they said that person that cut ties with that other person is deep down inside, they have a little bit of remorse, connections, or heartfelt love still for that fellow ex-spouse. So when people get divorced, ex-wives, guess what? That man or that woman, they still deep down inside them, they might not admit it or show it, but they have some type of deep connection still that was connected to them. But guess what? That applies to us because a majority of us was in a world for a plethora or a long amount of time. You have certain brothers, they was connected to the world in a deep relationship with the world for 30 years. Right? You might have been in a deep relationship with the world for 15 years, 25 years. Hey, that's a long time. And deep down inside, you have to cut that connection off of the world, or else you're gonna start to fall back in love with this world. Right? You're not gonna have that it's either now or never mentality. You're not gonna have that mentality as it's only one opportunity for the kingdom. Let me make the best of it while it lasts. Right? Let's go back to 2 Timothy chapter 4. You still gonna deep down inside you, it's something that still love it here. And you have to get rid of that, man. Hey, that's what you call damn cancer. Deep down inside you still got a connection to this place. Hey, that's scary. You want to ask the Lord to remove that far from you. This 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse number 10. 2 Timothy 4 and 10. It says, for Demas have forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. So although when you read Colossians 4:14, Demas was on fire. He was saluting the church, right? Different men were greeting him. He was with the Apostle Paul. Guess what? It was although he was doing the work, it was some deep down inside him he just loved about the world. It was that old part of him that was still there, man. Right? Some deep down was still connected to him. That might be certain brothers in the truth. You just can't let go of that one girl that you still have love for, but she's in the world. She's wicked. She might be a harlot. You still got love for that woman, your ex-girlfriend. You still got love for that marijuana smoke, the cigarette smoke. You still got love for covetousness and that money. And you still might have love for fornication and wicked sexual activity. All of this, we have to cut off, man. Or else you're going to be enticed. Ultimately, you're going to go back to your first love. And it's not really, your first love is really wisdom according to the Bible. But your first love is the wickedness of this world, which is evil. All of that is a part of fully detaching from this society. Let's go to Romans chapter 12 and 2. Right? Let's go to the book of Romans, the 12th chapter and the 2nd verse. This Romans chapter 12 and 2. And be not conformed to this world, But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and what is acceptable and perfect will of God. So you have to totally change your mentality. You renew your mind every day through the precepts, through the word, through praying, through fasting, through eliminate distractions, through cutting off certain devices, cutting off certain people, until your mind is wholly focused on the Most High, right? So let me get one more, then I'm gonna have to close up through the Spirit, right? Let me get one more precept. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, and verse number 10. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and 10. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So whatever you're doing in this truth, whether it's praying, reading, fasting, study, exhorting, prophesying, counseling, whatever it is, being sincere, being humble, having integrity, the Lord said, do it with thy might. For there is neither knowledge, nor work, nor device, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Right? No man knows their time that they're going to be called back to the Heavenly Father. It's either now or never. What are you going to do with your opportunity? But with that, giving all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Most High willing, this video was edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, and study. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercies. With that, I'm going to say shalom.